gang back together. That's one of the most important things. They don't have their key defenders, but they do have their midfield together, the Fremantle Dockers. So we're set to go at the Adelaide Oval. Sandilands in ruck against Renouf. And we're underway, and Big Sandilands gets the tap down straight away. Ollie Wines knows no other way but to charge on in. And he dives on the footy for Port Adelaide, a chance perhaps to go to the top of the ladder today with a victory.
Absolutely, they'll have their eyes on that. Stephen Hill with Jared Polak, so that's going to be an exciting combination on the wing.
Now Boat, and they can swing into action. There is Polak getting it in, hammering it in quickly. It's going to be really interesting to see as Mazungo takes it, how they work their defensive structures.
They're loose here they're off. Here's Johnson.
Well, he's got free and he's got the half forward. They're all everywhere. Main into the pocket. There was confusion amongst the Port Adelaide defence there. Hartlett didn't know whether to come up or go back, and he was stuck in between.
Well, exactly right. There's no point being in between, Hutto. You've got to go one or the other. He should have come back with Main and made Johnson kick a goal from 50 or go right at Johnson and try and cause an upset. But he did get stuck in between. Chris Main, one of the players at Freo that hasn't had the year that he would have liked so far. He's really dropped off in his defensive pressure. He's been carrying an injury, but he needs to get back in form if Freo are going to kick a winning score today.
He's kicked 5-3 for the year. He's found himself in defence in a couple of occasions this year so far. Be a mighty start for him here to try and keep the crowd quiet. It's tight.
Hit it sweet. Hit that true, hit it sweet.
Like you're seeing, obviously there's no stand down that end, so you think there is going to be wind that's going to be coming through that end.
Gee, it's been a bit uncertain out of defence so far for Port. Good signs for the pressure being applied by Fremantle. Hillard just hammering it away. Hard work there was done by Wingard to Wines to Monfries. That's better. More system. They've got an outlet. And they're running to Westhoff to Ebert. And Ebert can take it. He's got Robbie Gray at half forward. He's got White as well. And he's got Schultz deep being manned up by Silvani. Goes to White. He'll back himself here off the left. And Wines unopposed inside the 50.
Good footy there by Port Adelaide. Westhoff pushing back towards half-back, so that's a good move by him. Ebert's the hardest running midfielder in the comp at this stage, I reckon, through the middle of the ground. You saw him on Monday there. He got 10 metres in front of him on the wing. Great pick-up by Matty White and a very clever kick to find Ollie Wines.
He's kicked 6 goals, 5 for the year. Respectable, just under a goal a game. We know what a powerful young midfielder he is. Unfortunately misses to the left, so both sides leaving a few behind it. Doesn't mind having that one again. Play on the call though. Shields back to Hartlett, just about within range. Angling a kick, spearing in Monfries. A little opening. He went once, he'll have to go again, and he got there. That is a great effort, a great second effort. Although we might have a closer look on the screen.
I think it was a goal, boys, wasn't it?
What leg it came off? Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. We'd like to check, make sure it didn't come off the defender's leg.
I think Johnson's pretty keen on this one, boys.
Oh, yeah. Good call, Moons.
In the old days, Monfries would have had a goal.
Just how good was Monfries then? Very good claim, wasn't it?
Mick Malthouse called that a treat 3 or 4 years ago. Remember that time,
yes.
Yeah.
We've all done that, haven't we?
No, Mark, we haven't. No.
He's going to centre it. He sort of landed it. Well, it's
That should be 50 as well.
Won't like that at all.
No, he won't. I don't know what Sandilands was doing there. He was in the wrong spot, though. He got caught in front of the ball. And to take a mark on the chest, a metre out from goal.
What happened, Roo, was Renouf was sitting out here to the side. Looked like he might have got an inside 50, so Sandilands was a little bit torn whether to go back or stay with Renouf.
Gee, that's where you just got to delegate, don't you? Need your mids pushing back or someone else to come back, cover.
So we're finally set for Jay Schultz in game 150. He knows what to do. Puts it through for the first of the day. And there's a pin in this.
Well, they're both angry sides, aren't they? Port Adelaide and Freo, they don't muck around, they don't take anything from the opposition, and there's a bit riding on. This is a huge game for both sides. Here's Silvani. Just gets lost here, Schultz.
Yeah.
Too clever.
He made contact, and he only has 1 foot planted. And Schultz is able to push him because he's only got 1 foot on the ground, and he's unfortunately he just took a step when he looked for contact.
Now Subin on the wrong side. Just jammed it in for Pavlich. He's Restricted straight away. Casisio gave it straight up to De Boer. Fairly elementary. There's one back and handed on a platter.
Seeing lands like that, he's going to mark them all day.
You'd think they'd revise that strategy pretty quickly, wouldn't you? There's an opening for both, which he takes. Duffield,
well done.
Disposal. Opened it up for Mitchell. So Kane Mitchell into the team for his first game of the year, been in really good form in the SANFL. 31 disposals last week, Rory.
Yeah, he has. He's been in great form. Really knocked the door down. And there's only Jonas out of this side and Lobe. Other than that, they're absolute full strength. So it's very hard to get a game this year.
Made an impact last year in 13 games, often as the super sub. Starts today and shows what sort of stellar form he's in. What a goal!
Well, they're gold, aren't they? Goals like that. And well done to Kane Mitchell. It's a good story getting a gig coming over from Western Australia up against one of his old, probably a side that he grew up following or certainly watched him closely anyway, being from over there. And he's a good hard runner. Played a lot of footy last year as a sub, but I've made him earn it this year with a better side, and he's playing good footy, so well done to Kane Mitchell. Bad kick, though, by Duffield. That caused the whole thing.
Just watching Travis Boak, guys, he's come off 3 times this quarter, and that's why when he comes on, you see him do those 100, 150-metre sprints, because he just gets beautiful, perfect rest.
So Kane Mitchell doesn't think he can do it, so just sets it up for Wingard. He gracefully flew over the pack. That ruined it.
Free for Silvani. I think Jay Schultz grabbed him by the leg.
A very nervous start for Silvani. His last spoil against Schultz with the big high ball that came in about 90 seconds ago was fantastic.
All the way back to Broadbent, setting things up from defence.
Good hit.
Now, Kane calls, this is beyond him, but can he hit a target?
Don't worry, hit the big ones.
Sets it up. Very deep rest off. No, not paid.
Did he hold it for long enough? I know he dropped it after
he thinks
the
he did.
line. I reckon he was clunked it for a while. Let's have a look at that in a sec. Here he goes, the big fella. Comes from 3 deep. Clunk. That's a mark. Surely. Anyway, play on.
Whomsh. Goes up and takes the grab. He is playing inspired footy for Port Adelaide at the moment. Polak. They're pressing hard. Wingard. And the numbers work well on the defensive arc. Oh, Mzungu had a moment. There's a good tackle. He dropped it. He's put it down. Oh, they've played it on. White, they've got to score a goal from here, and they can't. Silvani and De Boer.
Oh, given one up there.
Nearly the coach needs to make a rule nearly at some footy clubs, don't they, about the free kicks and playing on advantage.
Just a moment or two. High kick back from Schultz, so there's no tall timber down there to take him.
Oh, great effort.
Reckless.
His mate's going to be sore.
Yeah.
Well, he is sore. Who is it, Subin?
That's Subin, guys. He's holding his jaw, as you can see. He could hit some serious trouble here.
Oh, knee onto the jaw.
Knee onto the
you spotted
jaw.
it, Moons. Oh, you poor...
Courage.
Oh. If that's the sharp end of the knee, we're going to have a bit of a game stop here.
Geez, had some bad luck in his career, Subin.
Forward line of Port Adelaide. What happens when the ball gets turned over? We'll be able to answer some more of those questions into this second term. Renoff, if you've just joined us, a late inclusion for Lobe. So Renoff playing his first game of the year in the ruck. Thumped forward by Crowley. So Freo going first into the forward half of the ground.
Bit slick.
Yeah, mate, and Ballantyne wasn't quite ready for it. Pavlich, didn't see a lot of it in the opening terms. Subin is recovered, that's good news.
Yep.
Not a bad effort too on the kick. What about that? He's fully recovered.
Yep.
Pavlich feeding it back. Ballantyne up and bubbling. He's got it back to big Polly Sandilands. He's taken the mark. Another handball over to Pav. Have to trust the left foot.
Oh,
and
well.
why wouldn't you?
Well done.
They're in front. And again, this frontal pressure really playing with the minds of Port, I reckon, a little bit. Hartlett.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's trying not to panic, but in the end, it just opened up for Hill. They're all over them at the moment, Fremantle.
Fremantle are giving. Can you sense it at ground level? What are they doing down there to that extent?
I reckon it's the intensity, Derm, to be honest. And we heard... I'll let this play.
And well played by Matty White. They're the sort of moments in matches you can look back on and say, gee, we scrounged a goal there. We somehow got back into it because Fremantle right on top, and Matt White has anticipated the kick in from Johnson and set up a massive scoring opportunity here for Ollie Wines.
Well, I think he stuffed the kick up, didn't he, to be quite frank?
All right, he stuffed the kick in.
Kicked it thin. That's the technical talk from the root.
Yep.
We like it. Straight talking, but not straight looking shooting, but it's through. Somehow it's a goal for Ollie Wines.
Yeah, that's one of their errors, Moons. But talk us through what you're seeing at ground level prior to that goal and why they've put 3 on the board so far this quarter, Fremantle.
Look, I think, in all honesty, I think it started with Sandilands getting his hands on the ball. It's starting to now dominate the centre bounce clearance work, and the intensity around the ground right now is phenomenal. We heard Rossi line at the start of the game.
Sets it up. The Pav's there. Oh, he took a big leap at it.
Subin.
Oh, Roo, you're a star. Subin's on fire. He's kicked 2 in the quarter.
So's the Roo.
They're tempting him.
Who's he going to kick to here? He's bouncing. He's got a man way out on the other side, so he was trying to get close as he could to Broadbent. In the end, White was clever, really good. Opened it up for Broadbent, charging they are, Port. You can hear the crowd start to lift. Boak, as they swing into action. Fremantle have got good resources backed up. Won't be easy here. Monfries through to Hartlett, still instinctive footy. Boak got around a couple, back to Hartlett. Bit of a standoff. Left foot kick. Polak, it's your number, you got to go. He knew. He flew hard. Wingard squeezed that kick out. Well, how they got that goal? Just sheer force of will from Port Adelaide.
Well, he is a freak in tight, Chad Wingard. His ability to get boot on ball in a tight situation and get it through the goals is very, very uncanny. I tell you what, there's a good punch. That was the one that kept the play going. Broadbent picked it up. Here we go. Here's Hartlett getting in. We thought Pollock was going to take a hanger. It come to the ground. Watch Wingard. Bang. That's instinctive footy. You don't even get a chance to look up and find out where the goals are. You know before you grab it what you're going to do with it.
To the 50. We're down to 22 seconds. Shields just tried to parry it back. Did it successfully to Boak. Again, that good instinctive footy. Now Monfries confronted by Mzungu. Squirts out again. Left foot kick, Pollock. All about the bounce. And the bounce today hasn't been going their way, perhaps as it has through the first 7 weeks of the season.
Let's have a look at this contest. Oh, straight up the front. Could have been head contact there. Nothing wrong from either player. Good physical contact. Yeah, both a bit lucky they didn't clash faces there.
So no one on the mark for Fife. He decides to kick in as long as he can to half back. And Sandilands is a pretty sound target to go to. That ends a quarter which has been dominated by Fremantle. They've kicked 5 goals 3 to 2 goals 4. They won the inside 50s 13-9 and the clearances 15-9. And they lead at half-time by 10 points, Dern.
A little bit of crowd control there. The umpires say walk away. Walk away, leave it alone, boys. Naomi Hartlett a boot to the head in that second quarter.
Off that left boot, Holmes aims it up into the middle. Gray just had it a split second to decide whether to give. He did in the end now. Impey bounding through centre half forward. Does he go for broke? He kicks it high. Tough one to judge. And Wingard did it magnificently. He's on his wrong side.
That's good umpiring. It's actually good umpiring. Now, it's not 50 because you've walked around and the player's entitled to follow you. So he can tackle you if it's not time off.
And the umpire lined him up and then Wingard just walked around again.
Yeah, that's good umpiring.
He stood his ground, Wingard here. I reckon he's got away with it.
He should kick it
centimetre
anyway.
or two.
No problem.
He does. Great start for Port in this third term. And it's back to 5.
It's his second goal, Wingard. Loves kicking goals, does Chad. Here we go. Let's have a look at how they move the ball. That was a really gutsy kick. Straight down the middle of the ground. No room for error. That was a terrific handball, that one. Now, Impey could have went short to Schultz. He took the game on. Whether that was right or wrong, it probably doesn't matter now because Wingard went back, didn't know what was coming, took a great grab, and then more importantly, thought his way through it. Didn't blaze away. Took some angle and snapped it.
So it won't be paid to Fife. He doesn't. No one knows it. No one knows it. So Fife was allowed the luxury of a lot more time than he could have had. Good work from De Boer. Oh, and a big, big opening there. And Main happy to run into the slot and put it through. Can't mark, had to confront Trengove as well as Carlisle. Carlisle went through. Look at that, getting funky again, Dermot. He's still going. A handball, stretching out. Now the run of White. Will he release? No, he charges on. Good momentum towards goal, towards the square. Shields did it all but the mark. And now Wingard puts the pressure on Mzungu. Hurries it. That's out of the fall for the third time in that area today.
Well, it swung around in this third quarter. It was Port Adelaide that have been kicking bad. They're up to 70%.
Pierce.
Oh, that was
to the
a bad
wing.
kick.
It's a wobbler. Duffield. Pierce gets a second opportunity. For Neil. Cassisi did well. Took him out without giving away the free.
That's a great tap kick.
Now, can he just hustle it on a little bit? Got help from Pollack. It was clean. Westhoff. Wingard, this young man with a goal sense like almost no other. Porter coming now. They've taken a while, but they're winding up.
I'll tell you what, he's a good finisher, Chad Wingard, whether it's a snap in a pack, whether it's from the boundary line, or whether he had to compose himself and just drill it from 40 metres out.
How important is this toe poke? Just he sees he's got two players forward of Johnson, and he gets it out to them there, and
look at him,
it's all rolling downhill.
Straighten up, kept it low, punched it through. Great finish, well done. Have a look at him, here he goes. That's his third.
Well done, Monfrey, though, and he knew where his teammates were. Suddenly they're starting to click together, but this man has been a thorn all day as the spare. Mzungu now, he's called on by the upper. He was just about gone. Oh, that's front on contact.
Well, that's 50.
That's 50. Yeah, that's legit.
Well,
that's
probably
right.
in some ways worth a punt because he had a shot on goal if it was his free. But anyway,
He was in trouble.
Don't bump him on the head when they're over it.
and Chad Wingard come out during the week and said the rule is right. You've got to protect players' heads. So he might have been wishing he didn't say that during the week.
Yeah, that's a sound decision. You can rattle your heads left to right and say, oh, I didn't know. You know when you bump a bloke on the head, it's never going to be another whistle for anything user of the foot. He doesn't make as wise decisions as Mzungu.
Not 15, the call. Duffield out on the full.
Third kicking error by him today.
Mitchell.
He had a shot at this one in the second quarter. First quarter, was it?
Yeah, he kicked one from the other side, missed one from here.
And as we've seen, all these shots have gone from our right to left across the face.
So he starts it
giving
further
it a
right.
chance.
He's given it every chance. Oh, what a kick from Kane Mitchell. When the moment arrived, he was able to relish it, kick the goal, and take his team back within 5. And this game's got more to give.
This is Duffield. 3 kicking errors like that I can think of today without going to the stat sheet. Now he's gone to school like a golfer in a putting stroke. Somebody putts before him on the same line. He's gone to school on that, and he started that on the near point post.
And a free kick. Boak, the captain, adjusted the kick into the pocket, hoping for Wingard.
Well,
still might come his way. He wants his 4th. He'll get it. It's still rocking here at the Adelaide Oval.
Was it Jay Schultz's tap there? I just want to have another look at. They're all going to Jay Schultz and Wingard because he kicked the goal, but there's a clever bit of play to set that up, and Savile Wingard's having a great effect. Boak was the one that's really worked hard. A great shepherd by Robbie Gray. Let's have a look at this. Here's the bounce. Jay Schultz it was. Great tap. He set that one up. Well done, Jay.
Billy Spur took himself to ground trying to dive for that football and knock it away, and really only succeeded to take himself out of the contest.
Monfrey, though, as they sweep in. Robbie Gray going back to his right boot.
Didn't have a left foot.
Yeah, screwed into the pocket. Barlow! Oh, Schultz lined him up. Looked like a great tackle, but the umpire had a different angle on it.
Yeah, be good to have a look at it, though. Good pressure.
He's taken some punishment, Barlow.
Let's have a look at it. Yep. Just at the start.
Any options?
Westhoff sitting right where he wants to land it.
Sandilands.
5.
5. Not quite.
big pack. Look at them. They are spent. And we talk about the rotations. It is going to be all important in this final quarter coming up. Oh, he's going to have to throw that board around seriously to get some run.
So a big third quarter between both sides. It was hard yards, wasn't it, for all the players out there? And at the end of it, Port Adelaide were able to just reduce the margin from 10 to 5. What's ahead in this last quarter? You won't have to wait too long to find out if Port can keep their unbeaten record at this ground this season. He did have a man more direct to go.
Well done, Buck.
Done well to break even.
Smart.
And now Young, oh, he almost threw it too. White can use his natural attributes, which is to run and gun. And he is a gun at the moment, Matty White. They're in front.
Well, Hinkley said they'll be right on the outside. They've just got to do the stuff in hard, in tight. And Matty White's been a real goal kicker all year. Boak was clever, and that's what Trengove did. Dorian, you called it in the middle of the game. That's what Renouf wouldn't have been able to do, but the effort there by Trengove set that up. So did Boak, and here's the run from White. He's been doing it all year and finishing off beautifully. Good floater. Couldn't be getting much more, could it?
Hey, Moons, we saw it during the third quarter. Ross Lyon came down, and he's not against giving his players a spray, but he stayed with Spur against Wingard, and he's had 4 kicked on him.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? He got that matchup, as well as the Corns and Fife matchup. I still can't get over that. Corns really...
What a talent! What a man! What a winner!
Don't worry about what I was saying, boys.
That was unbelievable. That was mark of the year for sure.
In his 50th game, Chad Wingard has thrilled the crowd here at the Adelaide Oval amongst 3 Fremantle players. He climbed, he got rid of them all, and most importantly, he dragged them down.
Kick the goal, son.
Well, Lee Spur swings around and goes, oh, he hasn't got it, has he?
A mark like that deserves a goal. We wait no longer. It was a bit of a hesitant kick, wasn't it, after all that?
He jabbed at it.
Yeah. Or else a trip. Oh, that's an ordinary kick, but it's going to be very fortuitous. And Port can team together. This will be a big team lifter too. They share it around. The responsibility with White. He spots Wingard, but he likes the goals. He loves the goals. And the raptures of the crowd at the Adelaide Oval.
This fitness really is something with now, Root. We're actually seeing them still run.
Here's this slide, boys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but did he touch? He had his hand on the ball.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Under the rule, it doesn't matter. Just slide in.
Yeah, but he didn't. Did he take the feet?
Well,
Doesn't make the rule on with you. It doesn't make the rule right.
No, but I'm saying, did Pearce even touch the opposition's body, or did he just have his hand on the ball?
No, I think the umpire's saying that it definitely did. I mean, it's forceful contact is the rule.
At this point in time, unless it lands on his head, he's pretty well useless because he can't move to the ball in this circumstance.
Give it off. He spotted Corns, the left-footed Pittard. He put the tee in the ground. He leaned back. He teed off and put it through.
Well, this is question time now. This is the question's been asked of Freo. Can you do it for 4 quarters? At this stage, it doesn't look like it. Let's have a look here. Scrappy and tight. Just scrappy stuff. And well done by Young. He finds Kane Corns on the other side. Pittard runs hard from half back and just slots it through. 6 scoring shots in this last quarter. 8 inside 50s to 1. 36 disposals to 18. They're all over Freo. They need to respond.
Now the margin is 17.
They just
got out quickly this time.
They've lost their most offensive runner too, with Hill being subbed out of the game.
Could have been pivotal, couldn't in this game. Now Gray again. And great delivery for Wingard. We'll have another crack in this last quarter. 2 misses so far.
Yeah, he's lining up for 5. They just look so much fresher in the legs, Port Adelaide, don't they? They're Freo coming off the big derby over there in Perth last weekend. That can have an effect. It hasn't had for 3 quarters, but at 3-quarter time, I reckon half the side were getting rub-downs in their calves. They looked like they were struggling, and Port Adelaide looked full of running.
8 scoring shots to 0. It'll be 9 after this, you think. as Wingard goes back. They've given him a third chance, and this time he's taken it. 5 goals for Wingard. And Port Adelaide lead by 24 points, and the sheer delight is seen all around this Adelaide Oval.
Well, there's the kick to Pav. It wasn't really on, but he had to go for it. Good effort by Dom to slide in there. Look at the leg speed here by Robbie Gray. Really fresh legs. Great kick, and Wingard's just giving Lee Spur a bit of a bath.
Is there much difference between the Cassisi slide in and the one that was pinged at the other end?
There's Wingard. He's just on fire today. He's having a day out. 5 goals too.
His 50th game. Centre bounce. Samuels just tried to hand it to Mundy, but they're winning everything at the moment. Pollock couldn't quite complete it, and now Fremantle can go to work, although it's haphazard at best from Sandlands. Now the defensive Port running on top of the ground. Cassisi gets it across.
Oh, Bobby's joining in.
Into the 50, Moons' boy. Here's a chance for Schultz. Spinning through.
He used to run off Moons like that too.
I remember having him covered, Moons.
I took 12 on him one day, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
12, 15, 87 to 9, 9, 63.
To the outside again.
And Monfrey's little meticulous little kick into Young. And they can go back and line up again. And
That's
this will be their 10th scoring shot.
The story of this last quarter is clearances. What are we running at here, Rube? 12-2. Well, there you go. But they've also had one extra on the outside of the pack, of the tight circle. They've had one to the other side, one to the outside.
That's after subbing off their ruckman too, Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
Gutsy call.
Yeah.
And paid dividends.
Stiff to be the sub after having 18 disposals last week. Right now, he's not worried at all, Aaron Young. This is an unbelievable domination in the last quarter.
It is, and have a look at the fortress here as Jared Healy created over here in Adelaide. A couple of massive victories. They knocked off the Crows. They ran all over them by 54. Brisbane by 113 and Geelong by 40. Big crowds there. Average winning margin of 69 points. I don't think they're going to get there today, but they're up to 30, and who knows, maybe they will. They've kicked 5 goal 5 in the last quarter.
Running out of ideas. Off the left boot. Got it down to Matty White, who might just take them on here, White. He'll think about it. It's that sort of day. Oh! Spoil sport, the goal umpire.
Let's have a look at Ballon, puts his head into it. He's going head to head.
Shoulder to head, but nothing to worry about there for Impey. No, nothing there. He was going for the ball.
You are absolutely 100% certain, but in this climate...
I'm still 100% certain. He's going
That was
for the
actually
ball.
Valentine's fault for going in there first.
Absolutely. He might get suspended for knocking himself around in this climate.
Yeah, you can these days.
Back to centre half forward, Broadbent. Fife, creative. De Boer, to Clark, the next link in the chain. He's forced to have a shot. There was no one to give it to. There was an open goal square, and it got there. It just crept over the line for a goal.
Got Mzungu on Wingard in the goal square now.
High ball back from Boak. He wants it again, Wingard. He does. He'll kick his 6th off his right boot. No, he won't. He might back again. Like the big kid in the schoolyard who kicked it up and chases his own footy.
And crumbs it as well. That would be pleasing to Ken Hinkley, that last passage of play then. I mean, it'd be so easy when you got the game dead, killed, dusted, whatever you want to call it. You can give up a goal like that on the death. But they still fought that out and made sure that there wasn't another shot at goal against them. And that's a real mindset that's obviously running through this team. There's no fallacy here. This team is incredibly physically fit.
Well, they've knocked off Geelong, they've knocked off Freo, and Hawthorn. If they can knock them off, then people will take them real serious.
Siren sounds at the Adelaide Oval. Another challenger conquered. This one comes after a mighty dogfight. It's a satisfying victory. They've got home by 18 points. They're back on top of the ladder. Bring on the Hawks. What a performance from Ken Hinkley and this Port Adelaide team. 7-1. And there was plenty of moments today in the first 3 quarters where it looked unlikely.
Well, Freo came to play. They put a huge amount of pressure on for the first 3 quarters, but we said right at the start they had to do it for 4 quarters and they couldn't do it. In the last quarter, Freo were found wanting.
Their planning was good. Freo's planning was
They did everything
really good
they
today.
could.
They got in the face. They came up to the ball carrier of Port Adelaide. They choked them. They denied them targets. They forced them into errors, and they were right in the game. And they had that slender lead at 3/4 time to by the barest of margins under a goal. And we thought, they'll fight it out. This is the Freo who can choke down games and they'll take it to the line. They were blown away by perhaps the fittest team we've ever seen take the field.
Well, their last quarters are just unbelievable.